Do you know how many options there are in Midjourney? In this video, I'll be going over all the parameters you have at your disposal and how you can use them efficiently and effectively for your pictures. In terms of sizing, you can add --W or the width of an image. According to Midjourney, this works better as a multiple of 64, and you can also use --H for the height of an image. According to them, it works better as a multiple of 64. Okay, so you can get a specific width and a specific height, although you can also use the aspect parameter to get a desired aspect ratio instead of manually setting the height and width. This can be achieved by using --aspect and then number: number, or --AR for short. Now let's take this to a prompt to try and show you the differences. Imagine a dog made of fire. So we're gonna do that regular. Then we're going to do a dog made of fire --AR, and we're gonna do 2 by 3. So that is width of 2 and a length of 3. Then we're gonna do a dog made of fire aspect 16 by 9. But now remember that aspect and AR are the same thing. So this is the first one with no parameter, a dog made of fire. Actually love this first one, I think that's beautiful. Number 2 is okay. 3, I can't lie, I don't really know what it was going for, although I like that it is kind of made of a flame. Number 4, pretty cool, I like the composition. But now we're gonna show you a dog made of fire, aspect ratio 2 to 3. So it gives you this sort of poster, rectangular, vertical composition. Gotta say, I love these pictures. Number 1 is amazing because he has an ear here, and then where the other ear should be, it's just more fire. This one looks like he's kind of got some solar flares. Number 3 is just pretty cool. Love the face. Number 4, he's kind of got a great lower half, and then the rest of him is just kind of expanding into flame. Let's move it on. We're going to check out a dog made of fire, aspect 16 by 9. The width of these pictures is a lot longer than the height of them. Love picture number 1. I think that's gorgeous. Picture number 2. I don't know. I mean, I can see what it was doing. It just didn't quite get there yet. Same with picture number 3 and picture number 4. I love the smirk on its face. Love the fire. So that's what the aspect ratio can do for your prompts. But one more thing to note is that there are synonyms for longer commands. In other words, using --wallpaper is the same as saying 1920 by 1024, which is like the size of a YouTube thumbnail. Dog made of fire. --wallpaper. Wow. Now this is quite interesting. Okay, so this is a great example of what these synonyms do. Wallpaper is the same as saying a width of 1920, a height of 1024, but also --HD. Now, --HD uses a different algorithm that's potentially better for larger images but with less consistent composition, quote unquote, best for abstract and landscape prompts. And boy, does this give you something very different. Now look at these. What in the world are these? This is the power of parameters. Number 1, I suppose there's a snout. Number 2, beautiful picture. Number 3, I don't know, I like the colors. And number 4 is just a gorgeous, gorgeous picture. To go over quickly, there are a few more synonyms you can use. I don't know, you can write these down on your own time, or you could find them on Midjourney's website. Okay, let's go through the next one, which is seed. --seed sets the random seed, which can sometimes help keep things more steady, reproducible between generations, and you can use any positive integer, literally any. They give the examples of 2, 534, and 345,554. Let's try a prompt. We're gonna do a scenic landscape of a mountain village. We're gonna do AR 16 by 9 because I want the wide picture, but I don't quite want the HD parameter involved. And we're gonna choose seed 1001. And to be completely honest, I'm not exactly sure what this is going to do. I suppose it's going to make all 4 pictures more similar. I mean, they use the word reproducible between generations, so maybe if I were to type the exact same thing again, I would get pretty similar pictures. I would say that these are pretty gorgeous. So this was including the parameter seed 1001. Now I don't know what would happen if we just did a scenic landscape of, you know what, let's try that. So this is without seed 1001. We're gonna see what it creates. Okay, let's compare the 2 prompts. This is seed 1001 of a scenic landscape of a mountain village. Here is a scenic landscape of a mountain village without the seed parameter. But I believe that not specifying the seed number will give you something slightly more random, in the sense that if we were to do the same prompt again and type in seed 1001, we would get a reproducible image. Okay, but this next parameter is interesting. It's called negative prompting, and it's -- no. Their example is no plants would try to remove plants. So you know what? We're gonna try scenic landscape of a mountain village with no mountain. We're gonna try negative prompting the mountains out of that picture. Okay, here is our scenic landscape of a mountain village with no mountains. I'd say that did a pretty good job. Like, you can imagine that there were mountains in the background of number 3, like right there, I suppose, and probably like right there as well. Like even the top of this house was probably a mountain. I don't know, I think that's a cool thing you can use if for some reason you knew the prompt would generate something and you knew that you kind of didn't actually want that. As I'm looking through the parameters, I see another thing to do with seeds, and this is the parameter for SameSeed, which sets the same seed across all images of the resulting grid. Now, we're going to try it with the same prompt, so it's just going to give us the four of the same picture. It really looks like it will. I don't know why you would ever want this. I suppose you could create a cool pattern. Why would you ever want 4 of the same picture? And like, to be fair, they're slightly different. I mean, slightly different, like spot the difference. Maybe that would be a fun thing you could do with this. Yeah, like look how similar these pictures are. Next, we have, you can use older versions of the algorithm. So version 1 or 2, we're currently on 3. I mean, they're just gonna give you different pictures. And you know what? Why not show that off? So let's try fire hydrant made of, let's try crystal. We're gonna try a fire hydrant made of crystal in each version. Common knowledge or the general consensus is that the latest version or the default is the best. Like, there really is no reason why you'd want to use version 2 or 1. Although, I guess that's a personal preference. Okay, let's start off with the default version, version 3. This is a fire hydrant made of crystal. Number 2 and number 4 are quite beautiful. Here is version 2, where it's a little more abstract, but like number 3 is great. Number 1's kind of artistic-y. Is that a word? I don't know. Number 2 is not normal. I don't think anyone would ever draw a fire hydrant like that, but shout out to Midjourney for doing it. And number 4, I don't know what they were going for, but again, I got no problem with it. But here's an interesting one. This is version 1. It's clearly more different than version 2 and 3. Look at the backgrounds on 1, 2, and 3. It put it in the real world. Now, I don't quite know the prompt to get that in the newer versions. I suppose you could just type in a realistic fire hydrant on a street corner made of crystal. You could try something like that. This is what version 1 did. It threw it in the real world. Got the colors a little wrong here, but that's okay. Number 2, I appreciate the effort, love the background. Number 3, this looks honestly quite creepy, don't know what to say. And number 4 is something we would expect Midjourney to make. Okay, next I'll show you the stop parameter. Now this allows you to stop the generation at an earlier percentage. It must be between 10 and 100. While you generate images, you'll notice that you can see the image be created. And sometimes you'll love how it looks at like 80 or 90, and then when it gets to 100, you're kind of like, oh, it added this, and that wasn't really for me. So to show you, we will do a Galactic Rainstorm Seed 95. And then we're going to do a Galactic Rainstorm Seed 95, but then we're going to say stop at 80. As we watch, you're going to see it add things every 10%. And like, how cool is that? So that is what the seed does. So Seed 95 got us essentially the same 4 images. So this is Seed 95. It's, not gonna lie, pretty beautiful. This is Seed 95, stop 80. Maybe I could put these side by side so you can notice the differences. And that is just in the last 20% it added these things. So it's a pretty big difference. Now, one caveat, if you were to upscale these images, even if you do the stop 80 generation, you can't stop the upscale. It'll go to a full upscale, it'll go to 100. For now, let's move on to the last one, and that is simply the parameter Uplight, which uses the light upscaler for subsequent upscales. The results are then closer to the original image, less detail added during upscale. Let's do a little experiment here. Let's try upscaling number 2 of the Seed 95. Let's try upscaling number 2 of the stopping at 80. We're going to do the same prompt, but we're going to use Uplight. Here is Seed 95 upscaled. You see how much detail it added? Quite a bit. And if you don't like that, first you can make variations on this image. You can also upscale this image even farther. You know what, let's show that too. We're going to upscale it even farther. Then we're also going to do light upscale redo. And now my theory is that light upscale redo is going to reduce the detail on this image, which will give us a very similar outcome to the prompt with the parameter Uplight. First, here's stopping at 80 and upscaling. As you can see, it still adds a lot of detail. You can't stop the upscale at 80. Here's a Galactic Rainstorm Seed 95, but with Uplight. So now we're going to upscale 2 in Uplight. And again, my theory is that now it's going to be very similar to the light upscale redo of the regular one. Okay, so first here is the upscale to the max. I mean, that's quite a bit more detail than this. So here is the light upscale redo of our regular one. And it took away a lot of the detail. Now, if you include Uplight in your prompt, this is what you'll get. And now here is your Uplight detailed upscale redo. And boy, is that different. And I lied, there's actually one more parameter which is pretty cool. It is the video parameter. It's a stuffed dog toy. We added dash video to our stuffed dog toy prompt. I think they turned out all right for the most part. I like number 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of scroll over here to the add a reaction. And if it's not here, you could search for envelope. We're going to click on the envelope and it's going to send us a DM, a personal message. And it sends us a video of the prompt getting created. It's very short, 7 seconds long, but pretty cool to see it created in real time. Now, unfortunately, you don't get this option for an upscale. It only works on 4 variations. For now, that was a rundown of the parameters you can use after your prompts in Midjourney. I hope you learned something. Hope you're starting to see how powerful this AI is and how amazing it is. Hope you take care, and I'll see you next time.